feel the power of the dark.
Hey guys, I hope you're hungry. Welcome back to War Stories here on the Fully Incensed channel. My name is Jericho, and today I'm joined by the Iceman to discuss WWE SummerSlam.
Hey everybody, I'm in a grumpy mood.
Yeah, we're grumpy. So, two little pieces of business before we start out. I know the last War Story, I was playing No Man's Sky, but I think as long as I'm doing episodes with Iceman, I may as well do Battlefront so we can play together. And it was also a lot harder to play and record that than I had imagined it would be, so I don't know if I'll do that going forward. I may or may not. And then the other thing, I usually try to avoid using like bad language on this show. Just, I don't know, I guess just like as a professional thing. It was never really a conscious choice, just something I did. But this episode, that might slip a little bit because we're both real mad, and I am a firm believer in calling a spade, and if I feel that stuff in this show was bullshit, then there's no other real word for it, because that's how I feel about it. So we're not gonna stifle ourselves this time. So that kind of you know, gets us started with the tone of what we're about to say, because we're both pretty upset about SummerSlam.
And just on that note, I've heard that people who curse more are actually smarter.
Really?
So,
yeah, so
there you go.
Yeah. All you big dumb smarties. Okay, so to start off, did you watch any of the pre-show?
You know, I didn't.
So I
shut it on. I turned it on once because, you know, I don't really know what the reasoning was, but I saw that there was a cool, neat stage. And I don't know if I've ever talked about it on this show, but like the way the stage looks and ring ropes are like the two biggest things that get to me for some reason. So when there's like a new stage, I'm super happy about it. So I turned it on to see that, and then I shut it off again.
So I only watched the last match, the Cesaro and Sheamus beginning their best of 7 series, and that just goes to show you like how little, like, I guess maybe it'll matter later if the matches start to be really good or something, but like the fact that they would have the first match of the best of 7 series be on the pre-show, like, it doesn't exactly bode well, you know, for what they think that this could be. But the whole thing is just silly.
Well, they had to have plenty of time on the main show for all the flop finishes.
Yeah, for all the nonsense, and for Jon Stewart to talk for an hour and a half about the stupid stuff.
He cut a 1999 Triple H promo. The ones that used to last a half hour to start off Raw.
Or a 2000
2015 Triple H.
Yeah, I was just about to say. The only other thing I wanted to say is, like, why not have it be Sami Zayn and Cesaro, who we already know can put on incredible matches, and it would make sense for them to both be faces and competing because they want to prove that they're the best. Like, why does Cesaro and why does Sheamus care? He was just the world champion in November. Like, why, or December, or whatever it was. Like, why? What?
I'm really just starting to think about that now. Yeah, why does Sheamus care? He's a heel. He got drafted to Raw. Who cares if it was low? He's, in his heelish mind, he should be like, I don't care. I'm on Raw, and I'm getting paid.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. So it would make way more sense. But Sami Zayn got drafted quite high, right? Wasn't he? He was like 8th overall or something?
Zayn, yeah, was like, I don't know, high. I don't remember exactly what it was, but I feel like he was like top 10, wasn't he?
Yeah, I feel like he was before either mid-card champion, before Owens, because I remember that was like a thing. Owens was freaking out backstage. So anyway, like, Zayn, I think, is totally wasted. I hope that he doesn't have this team with Neville was just like a one-time stupid thing and is not a thing going forward, because I think Neville is good, but that's a huge waste of Sami Zayn's potential.
All rebel troops.
And I really had hoped that WWE had moved past like putting 2 single stars together for a tag team. We have so many good, like the Revival and American Alpha, even Hype Bros, like teams that have been together for quite a long time now, realest guys in the room, that, you know, like, we don't need that to populate the tag team division anymore. So why do it? What? I don't know.
Well, as we're about to find out when we go to the main card, we're going to see that established teams actually don't matter at all.
Right, because you could just have two random people put together for the first time who previously have been shown to hate each other, because all heels hate each other as much as they hate the faces usually, are actually a well-construed unit and even have a tag team finisher. And that's what we saw when Jericho and Owens, two guys I love. Jericho is maybe one of my favorites of all time. That's one reason why it's my namesake for the show. And Kevin Owens is my current favorite and another contender for one of my favorites ever. And I like them as a team. It's fine. I like that they call themselves Jericho. Like, it's funny and it's cool. But they have like never met on the show. And when they did, they were like both, I think they were both in the ladder match or something. They've been involved in multi-man matches before, and they've gotten in each other's face before, I know. So like, why? And like them, like, oh, we're best friends, we love each other, we're the best team ever. Like, that's all funny heel shtick, but why would they beat the realest guys in the room?
Yeah, I love their team. I think they're so funny, so great together. But they had no business beating Enzo and Cass
in Brooklyn.
The most over team in WWE right now.
Yeah, I think I agree with that. I think they're more popular than New Day because they're so fresh, and New Day is so gimmicky now. Like they have like the cereal and like all the like different just random nonsense they do to keep like the illusion of being fresh, when really it's just the same thing again and again. Whereas realest guys in the room, every time they come out, they cut a new unique promo, and like they're still fresh and exciting to us.
Yeah. But
they lose to open SummerSlam in Brooklyn. And Owens and Jericho didn't even really cheat. Like, they were just the better team.
They won squeaky clean.
Yeah, they're just better. So that was the first bizarre ending, but far from the last. I don't know. Here, I'm gonna not be walking around in the game for a second because I'm reading my little notes here. I don't think there was a single finish that I really expected.
And you don't mean that in a good way. Like,
right.
Oh, wow, they did this.
Yeah, not because, oh, what a neat surprise. There was a single finish that, okay, that sounds good.
Yeah, everything, like, it's just bizarre. The whole show is bizarre.
That's really the word for it.
During the show. This is so weird.
So the next match was Sasha Banks versus Charlotte, and I'll just let you take the lead on this one. Go ahead. You want to share your thoughts on that, Iceman, on Sasha versus Charlotte?
Yeah. So my love for Sasha Banks is no secret. She's literally my current favorite, and has been, but pretty much all year, right? Like I was.
Oh yeah.
The other day when that started, I think it's like since she came back from her injury at Royal Rumble, I think that was when she became my current favorite, and it hasn't gone away. So this has been a roller coaster year for me, being a Sasha Banks fan. She goes away, she comes back, she goes away, she comes back. She loses all the big matches to Charlotte. Finally wins the title on Raw, and then 3 weeks later loses it at SummerSlam, and I was not happy at all. We come to find out that she's actually injured, so the title change had been planned for some time. So, I mean, I guess I understand they had to get the title off her if she's not going to be around, but that didn't make me happy about it.
Right. Yeah, it's small consolation for people that have been wanting her to be the champion for forever. Like, why not have it be like, I don't know. There was another finish, and like, since she is injured, I feel better than them just deciding that that's what they wanted to do, that's what they thought was best for the company. But at the time, we were both pretty upset about that one. So, moving right along, we had The Miz and Apollo Crews. So I thought that Apollo Crews kind of showed off some stuff in this match. Like, he's really strong and athletic and all the rest, but we've seen that before, and we saw nothing in terms of his personality, and it was a very short, boring match, and Miz beat him cleanly too. Like, another
in like 6 minutes too.
Yeah, like
super short match.
Like, Crews didn't belong to be in the ring with him. So okay, well, that's it for him, right? Like, I just don't understand the booking, it was just bizarre is just the word for it. I don't get it. I just don't understand. Like, why? Go ahead, please.
I was just gonna say, I don't like Apollo Crews personally. Not really his fault. They just haven't given him a chance to do anything. But they need to. Even if they're gonna have him lose that, Miz should have cheated or something, because SmackDown is severely lacking in mid-card. Like, you're either brand new NXT or you're like John Cena level.
Yep.
If you're on SmackDown. Like, they need some middle of the road guys.
Yeah, and it's all pretty much only Miz in the Intercontinental title picture, and Cruz just doesn't belong there now. Like, that's like provable. Before we go much further, we're recording this on Tuesday morning, so we've seen Raw, but not SmackDown yet. So if we say anything that ends up not making sense, like maybe Cruz will beat him back tonight, or whatever. But just because this video goes up on Thursday, I just wanted to make that clear. So then we had Styles and Cena, and I guess that's probably the match with which I had the fewest complaints, because it was an excellent match. And I was, of course, delighted to see Styles win cleanly, but it was still surprising. I guess that one was surprising in a good way, because I was shocked that they would give Styles, like, Cena 100% put Styles over. It wasn't like, oh, we got lucky. It wasn't, even when Punk beat him for the title, like, there was still like a bit of a hullabaloo. Like, Laurinaitis and Cena and Vince ran out, and it was like all weird for a second. Like, he still didn't really beat him. But Styles he just beat him. He countered his finisher into his own finisher and pinned him. That's it. And
this is like the last match in the feud. It's like Styles wins the feud. Even when Cena has some different examples, like when Kevin Owens beat Cena cleanly last year at Del Rio. Cena always got his win back and always won the feud.
Yeah, Owens paid for it with his life. He lost to him like 3 times in a row after getting him once.
Including tapping out.
Yes, yeah. And same for Rusev. Rusev beat him, right? Didn't Rusev beat him at like the Royal Rumble? And then lost a million times? He
like made Cena pass out.
Oh, yeah.
Like, remember he passed out in the Accolade, which is still a clean win, but it like didn't pin him or submit him. But
right.
Yeah, even so, it's still a clean win. And yeah, Cena won like 3 times in a row after that also. So
my question coming out of that match is, have we seen, like, I think Cena as a top guy, or as the top guy certainly, is definitely coming to an end. Like, if they have the confidence to have Cena lose a match like that in a way that we haven't seen since Bryan at SummerSlam, what was it, 4 years ago? 3 years ago?
Yeah.
Like, they must think that Cena, like, that they can make it without him as the #1 guy, because they just had him lose. Like, and like the promos on SmackDown, like AJ was like, well, if I beat you, you either have to say that I'm better than you or you're a liar. You know,
that's
like,
so great.
Yeah, and it's true. Like, what is Cena gonna do tonight? Like, I'm very interested to see, because I think he could be like in typical Cena fashion, be like, well, yeah, but this, that, and the other, or he might
they could just totally ignore it. Remember when he was feuding with Rock the first time, and they did a huge thing like, I have to win or I'm nothing,
and he lost,
and then he came out and said, win some, you lose some.
I mean, it's okay. You can't win them all. It's tough fighting.
It's tough. It's hard out there.
Okay, so Styles and Cena, that was probably the match of the night, I would say. But another thing I wanted to say, it sort of matches more with the next match is the more direct comparison. But like, I don't think there were any matches at SummerSlam that could really compare with any of the matches that TakeOver the previous night. NXT is infinitely better than WWE right now, and there's no comparison whatsoever. They just blow them out of the water in everywhere. Every division is stronger. Every match is better. Every promo, every segment.
It's true. I mean, I hate to be like the typical IWC, NXT, they got all the indie guys, it's better because of that. But like, they're just, the storylines, it makes sense. It all makes sense. It all flows. It's smooth, and then on top of that, the matches are better, and the promos are better. Just everything about it.
It's legitimately hard to believe that it's the same company, that this is coming from the same like minds and powers that be. And I guess I can hope for the future that if it really is, like, the answer really is that Triple H is the one in charge. But I don't know. It just, I don't know. We'll see what the future holds. But okay. So anyway, I'm getting off track. The next match was the New Day and the Club, and it had perhaps the stupidest of the many stupid endings on the show, in which the good guys, who already outnumbered the bad guys because of fucking Jon Stewart, had their fourth good guy buddy come to help them to cheat, just to attack and ruin the match at SummerSlam, a SummerSlam championship match. Big E comes out and ruins the match, and then it's just, oh well, eat your bootios. Like, it's just funny. It's just, but it's not funny to me because I wanted to see the New Day lose. They've been the champions for a year, and we have an exciting new tag team that had a lot of hype, and everybody wanted to see come. And then it's just that all they get to do is just make jokes about Big E's testicle. Like, what the? Like, it's so stupid. Talk about bizarre. Just, I don't know.
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It's absurd that they had a flop finish at SummerSlam.
At SummerSlam, it's supposed to be as big as WrestleMania. It was 6 hours of a wrestling extravaganza with a pre-show and events the whole week and all this craziness. Like, they make it seem like it's such a big deal, but it's all just smoke and mirrors. Whoa! If they don't have the follow-through of the matches being logical and making sense. Like, I really don't even know. I guess it's because I love tag team wrestling so much, and I had just seen the Revival and DIY put on an amazing, yet another match of the year tag team match candidate on an NXT show, and then I see just a joke nonsense. One of the serious best tag teams in the world in Gallows and Anderson can't beat the New Day because they have Jon Stewart and another extra wrestler. I really hate it. I loved the New Day for a really long time. I supported them from the very beginning. I thought they were really funny. I thought their change to faces went over relatively well, which is a tough transition to make. But now I am so sick of them. I'm sick of them always winning and them just being able to cheat as good guys.
And why are they allowed? They were allowed to do it as heels too. Remember in the Elimination Chamber, they're just allowed to have all three of them in there.
Yeah, that must be nice. Why doesn't everybody? Like, why doesn't the club just find somebody?
Yeah. That's not the Freebird rule. The Freebird rule is two of them. Two of them fight, not all three every time.
Right. It's that any two can defend the tag titles. That's the only rule. Yeah, not that they can just do whatever the hell they want. I don't know. I'm just mad. So then we had Ziggler and Ambrose, and I thought it was yet another Ambrose match that I thought was really disappointing, and I am starting to lose confidence in Ambrose because it's happened a lot. And I don't know, like, Ziggler puts on consistently good matches, but to me, it was really flat. Like, I didn't, like, their promo, I watched Ziggler cut the amazing promo on SmackDown. Like, there was just no, I think they knew, like, that they were not the focus, or they knew, like, they were mad, like the rest of the world, that the WWE Championship is less important than the fucking Twizzlers title, and then the US title, which was the last one to go on the show. So I guess, like, maybe they were mad, or their hearts weren't in it, or what, but it was just, like, nothing. It was so insubstantial, and it seemed incredibly short to me, too, for a WWE Championship match.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it just, the whole thing just felt like, you know, like a show that they throw in the middle of Raw, you know? Like, that match wouldn't have gone 2 segments if it had been on TV.
Yep, I totally agree. Like, that's the sort of match that Ambrose should have had leading up to the pay-per-view for a real challenge with Bray Wyatt, instead of wasting Bray Wyatt. And they, like, broke them up again, right? Didn't he, like, abandon Eric Rowan or something? I didn't watch SmackDown.
They kind of teased it,
but it's not official. God, like, it's just so stupid. Why don't they do? And, like, right now, we were talking about this. AJ Styles could be Cena in a year. All they need to do is he needs to feud with Ambrose. Ambrose should turn heel, as was hinted in the match with Ziggler, just the way he was acting and the feud going up to it, like how Ziggler wasn't even worthy of being there. Turn Styles face, like, have him be gracious in his victory over Cena. Be like, I've seen it say, yeah, you were the better man. Maybe I should step down, and Styles be cool about it. Turn Styles face. Turn Ambrose heel. Have Styles beat him, and then have Styles be the one to beat Lesnar. but they won't do any of that.
Oh no, never. We might get Styles feuding with Ambrose.
Yes, but it would be Styles as a heel.
Yeah.
So that match was flat. Then we had the 6 women tag team match, and that was Divas Wrestling. That was 2006. Nobody cares, just a random 6 diva match. Nikki is back because she is the face of the Divas Revolution. She's the reason it all happened, so she's back to save us again.
That makes me so mad. Like, the Bellas are a real big, like, they're the reason that the Divas Revolution was needed.
Yep. They are 100% part of the problem. They are models that were hired to be taught how to fight and look hot. Oh, I played like garbage. Oh my word.
Oh yeah, that was bad.
That was a rough one.
That was SummerSlam bad.
No.
Yeah, I was real disappointed in that match. I'm obviously a huge fan of women's wrestling, and they had Becky Lynch and Natalya and Carmella. They had women who can go, and I mean, as much crap as I give Nikki Bella, she's at least better than she used to be.
Yeah, she's competent.
Much. I mean, when you go from no skill to having a little bit, you're better than you used to be.
Right.
So they had the people. It was just like they didn't know how to have a 6-woman tag. It's like, I don't like, they didn't know what they were doing. They all seemed lost.
When Eva got suspended, they should have just canceled the match entirely, because I think she was a lot of the allure. Even though she's bad, even though, like, that was still a big reason to have the match. And that would have let them have more time. Maybe if Ziggler and Ambrose had a little bit more time to breathe, it could have been better. But
yeah,
I don't know.
That's true. Honestly, that could be a reason why Ziggler and Ambrose just never seemed to pick up, because there wasn't any time. It really was less than 10 minutes long.
Because the whole show, like, Orton and Lesnar started at like 10:45 or even later. So even though it was a 4-hour show with 2 hours of pre-show, it's still rushed. And okay, but we're getting ahead of ourselves. Balor and Rollins, I thought was really good, but not as good as I expected it to be. Like, I've seen both of them have a lot better matches than that.
Need seeing Balor pick up the win, though.
Yes, definitely. And it's such a shame. Like we said, you know, this is recorded after Raw, so we know for a fact that he's going to be out for 6 months. That's really, really disappointing.
The rebels have pulled in a Y-wing attack. We must deactivate that uplink.
But I mean, I love Balor. I love that they have that much faith in him. That, I mean, that's the quickest rise in history, right? At least from being on the main roster. It has to be.
Yeah, it's quicker. Yep. I mean, a month.
Like, Lesnar was the quickest before. He was like 3 months, right?
Yep, Lesnar, yeah. Lesnar, it was a little bit longer than that. Lesnar debuted the night after Mania 18, and then didn't win the world title until SummerSlam.
Okay. It's like 5.
But he started off immediately feuding with, like, Hulk Hogan, so...
Right, so he's still quite the rocket ship. Okay, so then we have... Oh, okay, the other thing about Balor and Rollins, why was it lower on the card than the U.S. title? It was the match that immediately preceded the U.S. title. So stupid. And I know the reason is because the U.S. title match didn't even happen, but...
Right. So they needed a little bit of... I'm sorry to interrupt. They needed a little bit of time in between the 2 main events, the world title and then the Lesnar match. So why not put the U.S. title where the women's tag match was, and put the women's tag in the middle?
Right, that already people aren't going to care about and are going to, you know, find to be a weak link in the pay-per-view. Yeah, why? And I guess the answer is because they still want Reigns to have a spotlight, even though he didn't even have the match. Okay, but before we move on that, the last thing I want to say about Balor and Rollins, when they came out, apropos of nothing, what's-her-name announced that it was a pin or submit only. No DQ, no countout. And I thought, like, oh, maybe I misheard her. But when Rollins has Balor in the submission hold and Balor gets to the ropes, he's like, there's no rope break. And the announcers say it too. That definitely was the stipulation. It says no DQ. Why? They didn't use it once. And that, goes back to a constant complaint I have about WWE. If it's a no DQ match and I'm a bad guy that only cares about winning and getting paid and being the best, as soon as the bell rings, I'm gonna grab a chair or a table or the title or something. Why not? And I know, like, of course they have to tell their story, they have to ramp up the tension. I know really why not. But give me a reason in storyline why they would ever not do that. Like, why did Rollins immediately have 6 guys he paid off come and beat the shit out of Balor when he's perfectly within his rights to do so? To be the first ever of a title that they're so obsessed with making seem important, bigger than the WWE Championship? Like, why did Rollins care enough to do that?
It doesn't make, it makes no sense. Like, why? I don't know.
So then we have Rusev and Reigns. I don't know what Rusev did to Reigns, because Reigns assaulted Rusev's wife, insulted him, treated him.
Yeah. Why is Reigns so mad? Because he already beat Rusev on Raw last week.
Yeah, pinned him.
So he's already got the upper hand. So why was he just so mad that the match couldn't even take place?
And it's not even like out of righteous indignation because Rusev is mean to America, because he hasn't really done the besides just stupid Americans, he hasn't really done like a purely anti-American thing in a long time. And Rusev, I mean, Reigns has never been shown, he's not wearing red, white, and blue shit like Titus O'Neil or Zack Ryder did. Like, he just, I mean, and then he is supposed to be the good guy, is Reigns, and he just beats him mercilessly and then comes back out and spears him. Like, why? And they don't even, so 2 title matches and in a flop. That match did not even take place. A match they advertised and I thought was a good fit for Reigns. Even if he had won, I would have been mad because I love Rusev. I think he's probably the best pure heel besides Owens on the roster because he actually gets boos. He actually gets the proper heat. He has wonderful matches. He's really funny. Lana is a great addition to his package. Like, Rusev is really, really, really good. And I would have been pissed to see Reigns beat him, but better than Reigns still being in the main event. Make him take a back seat, make him pay his dues, make him wait a while, give him his punishment for the suspension. But no, they don't even have the match that they've advertised. Like,
Yep.
I just don't know what to say. So then we have our main event of Orton versus Lesnar, and that match practically didn't happen either, really.
No, it didn't. It wasn't. It was. I mean, it was a typical Lesnar match. Suplex, suplex, suplex. Orton did get his RKO out of nowhere a couple times, but for all the talking he did about just needing one to win, didn't work real well, did it?
Yeah, he hit him with 2 once on the announce table, and he still just kicked out of it. It was oh.
Be ready for hostiles.
So, and then Lesnar bloodies Orton like crazy, like crazy, like. And I don't mind. I think that WWE, like, being so draconian about the use of blood is silly because it's gonna happen, and it looks silly when they have to stop the match, and like, I know why they have to do it. It's just like a shame. And I think of Joe and Balor's match where Joe got split open right away, and like they had to keep stopping it, and it really hurt an otherwise excellent match. Like, it really can add to the drama, but when they have like a literal pool of blood and then Lesnar is still attacking him, it's like what the fuck are you trying to say? Like, why? Like, is it worth risking like pissing people off and like I mean, that wasn't PG anymore. Like what they just like why is Lesnar worth it? We were talking about this at the time. Like, there are so many guys that we feel could be in Lesnar's position if they got. Lesnar got to beat the Undertaker's WrestleMania streak. Lesnar got to squash Cena in a title match at SummerSlam years ago, or 2 years ago, I guess it was 3.
Yeah, it was 2. It was 14.
So anybody else that got those sorts of wins could be where Lesnar is. I think there are many people. Samoa Joe is one of them. Cesaro is one of them. AJ Styles is one of them. Balor is one of them. Like, with those sort of wins and that sort of support, Bray Wyatt. But they just give it to
all those guys can talk too,
and they all love the business.
and they all love it. Yep, Lesnar, does not. He comes for the money. He doesn't talk to anybody backstage. He just shows up and does whatever he wants. He said shit on the air last week, and that bothered me. Not the word, but the fact that he was just allowed to do it.
Yeah, like he's The Rock. Like he's someone that's given years off of his life and years of his life to the business. No, it's just because he felt like it. Like, he just doesn't care. I am ready for Lesnar to lose. I'm ready for... I just don't know. SummerSlam was pathetic. Easily the worst pay-per-view of the year so far. The worst SummerSlam I can remember. Like, I don't think I've been this mad at a SummerSlam since WWE defeated Nexus. And even that...
Even the rest of that was probably a good show.
Right.
The end.
Right. Whereas this, it was all... The one bright spot, I'm really happy that Styles beat Cena, and especially in the way he did. So I'm not going to say, like, oh my god, it was so freaking terrible. Everything about it was awful. But it did have that moment. And some of the in-ring action was good. Like I said, Ziggler and Ambrose wasn't bad. Balor and Rollins wasn't bad. They were just both not what they thought they could have been. But baffling decisions, bizarre booking, nonsensical storylines, and 2 flop finishes for title matches made it easily the worst pay-per-view of the year so far.
Skywalker has been defeated.
So, I don't know. Do you have any closing thoughts?
I'm angry. I hated it.
Yeah, more like full incensed. How about that? Oh. Now I'm happy. Anyway, if you enjoyed war stories like this, where usually we're much happier, they're every Tuesday and Thursday here on the channel, but there's something every single day. So make sure you come back for more. For The Iceman, I have been Jericho, and we'll see you guys next time. I don't know about you, but we're full.